Coming up this time, words of wisdom for Cloughie's wing wizard.
He never spoke about the opposition. Whoever I played against full-backs, it was what I was going to do. When you can, have a go at them. Don't overdo it so you know they're going to read your game. You make them think, what's he going to do?
How Cloughie was years ahead of his time.
Clough believed in getting the ball down, playing with the tempo, working out to get it back. And he used to say to us, the bad team will give you the ball back because they won't have the composure on the ball. Everything what Guardiola and them's doing now, Clough did years ago.
And why imitation really is the sincerest form of flattery, even if you do get caught out.
Because I'm the boss and that's what matters. And you'll be thanking me years down the line, lads. And everything he said turned out right. We used to have a meeting in the boardroom on a Friday morning.
Yeah.
And I got away with murder, so the lads would wind me up to take him off. We're in there after training 12:30, and I'm giving like a team talk, doing Clough and Martin and Rob over saying to me so-and-so. And they knew they got one of the lads out there waiting to see him come out of the office coming down.
Yeah.
And then he must have sneaked back in. Go on, team. It's going to be another half an hour. Take him off to a team talk, and then he'd come in like... I mean, he started laughing.
Yes.
You know, he'd
Yes.
sit down, young man.
Yes.
There's not another manager like me.
Hello, I'm Marcus Alton from the tribute website brianclough.com, and welcome along to the second part of my interview with the Magic Maverick. Terry Curran was one of Cloughie's early signings at Nottingham Forest, but left before the European glory days. You'll hear more about that in this part of the interview. But first, he's been telling me how he originally turned down other clubs to play for Clough.
I could have definitely gone to Everton, Tottenham, Sheffield United. Definitely. Right?
Yes.
I'd spoke to them like I spoke to Clough. You know, but I knew I was going to... And those three clubs are in the first division.
Yeah.
So I knew where I was going. It was the greatest achievement, you know, to get one of... for me, is the elite of the elite. And I mean, I laugh at it, but I still think it's the best quote I've ever read in my life, better than Churchill or anyone. When someone asked me, you know, is he the best manager in the country? And he said, well, I'm certainly in the top one.
Yes.
You know, that was his character. And you know, when he made you believe that you were the one. And every club I've been at, every club I have been at has had some form of success, barring Sunderland.
If we go back to the time of August 77, and you weren't in the team that had just got promoted to the first division, you weren't in the starting 11. Obviously, you then decided that you wanted to start, and you weren't there, and you wanted to leave. But Cloughie, I understand, did try to persuade you to stay. What did he say? What did he say to you?
Listen, everything he told me was right. Now, put yourself. As a professional footballer, this man is telling everyone what's wanting to listen that I'm going to be the next best thing. Forest hit a bad patch. They hadn't won for a month. They had not won for a month. And the physio would always say to me, the boss has been asking, how are you? You know, how long's he going to be? So. And it come to the time where I was ready to go and join in to train. Clough come into the dressing room, into the physio room, when he knew I was getting the go-ahead to go and train. He said, young man, I've been told you're ready to come and train. I want you in tomorrow, 10 o'clock. He made me do 20 laps around the pitch. Right? When I come in, he come in, he said, get changed. I get in. I'm thinking I'm going to get a ball. There's no balls. He made me do 20. Right? Yeah. And he shouted, well done, young man. You can come and join in with us on Monday. So he wanted to see me do 20 laps. Played a few games, reserve games. And they did a sticky patch, Marcus. They hadn't won for a month. They did a sticky patch. And I think he threw me in at the deep end. He threw me in at Hereford. Yeah. That was my first game back. I scored the winning goal. We played at Carlisle. I put a chance on for Woody. To this day, I don't know how he missed it. But as all players, all great goal scorers, Woody's a great goal scorer. I'm not on about him missing it. We've all missed them. I've missed one. There's one come from a crossbar when I was playing for Doncaster Rovers. It bounced on the line and I've headed it back over by. You think, how have I done that? And then we were playing either Notts County or Southampton. I think it was Notts County.
Yeah.
And he pulled me in, and he said to me, young man, you've done brilliant, but I'm going to leave you out. I had to finish with that injury. I'm going to be serious now. He said to me, look, I had to finish with that injury. That's what made me finish as a young man.
Yeah.
You know, I want to ease you in gently. I want to look after you. Right. And I lost it. I tell him, I says, look, I said, shove your team up your backside. I slammed the door of his office. I said to him, shove your team up your... Not in what you think, because I had so much respect for him, right? And you see, you're laughing. I can see him now. His desk were there. His feet's up on the desk, right? His hands behind his head.
Yes.
I let go of it. I slammed the door that hard. It fell down. It came off the hinges and fell down. It must have been loose. It has to have been loose. Right? And it fell down. And he is doing what you were doing, but he's got his hand behind his head, his feet up there, and laughing his head off. And I was so angry inside. And he's laughing at me, making it worse. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, I bet.
What had happened there? John Middleton was in between, and ex-player at Forest, the goalkeeper. Clough thought big things of him, but obviously it didn't work out for John. He went and bought Peter Shilton. Phoned me up. Tommy Dock wants to sign you. Right. But Clough had set off that season. I think they played Arsenal away first match, was it? Or was it Everton?
Everton.
I'm not
yes,
sure.
Everton. That's it.
Everton. He set off with, he gave the lads a chance. I'm pretty sure they won. And I wanted to play. I really wanted to play, and he said to me, look, you'll get back in. I'm just going to ease you back in steadily. We'd had a good pre-season. We'd signed Kenny Burns, Larry Lloyd. This pre-season had gone really well, and I just wanted to, get back in and show the fans, that I'm ready to come back. But they won. And then I didn't think they got beat. I think they went on a run, which were unbelievable, weren't it?
Yes.
And he used to say to me, look, young man, calm down. I think you're a top player. I think you're going to play for England. Your injury, it's worse than what you thought it is. I had to finish with it. I was impatient, and everything he said to me turned out right. But when I look at it, the injury was a bad injury. Because at Forest, I was like lightning quick. I was still quick. I was still very quick. But up to the injury, I was lightning, and I mean lightning quick,
Yeah.
And I went a knothead because I respect people, but I wanted to play. I don't want to sit on a bench. I don't want to sit on a bench for Man United. I don't want to sit on a bench for Arsenal. I don't want to sit on a bench for Sheffield Wednesday. I want to play. And he was giving me good advice. But Tommy Dock were tapping me up through John Middleton, and he was saying that he's going to put me straight into team. He'll put me straight into team. I should be played. You should be in team. You've got to go asking for a move. And one day, I think he just said, I've had enough of you asking for a move. When they agreed the fee, the Derby County, and this again, Marcus, I'm not bothered what anybody else thinks. He got a tear in his eye. He said to me, I was in his office, with Ken Smales, and little tears were coming down. He said, you'll regret the day you'll leave me because I will win a European Cup. Oh. But he told a lie because he won two. He won two.
He did. Yeah.
Right? He believed it. He believed it. But everything he said, and I should have been impatient. But anybody what knows me, I want to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was the greatest manager. And I'm not saying that because he said about me. You have to be in a dressing room. He never spoke about the opposition. Whoever I played against fullbacks, he never said to me, he's weak on his left side. It was what I was going to do. When you can, have a go at him. Don't overdo it so they're going to read your game. You make them think, what's he going to do? What he achieved at Nottingham Forest, and Derby County, but what he achieved at Forest, he won everything: a league title, 2 European Cups, I think 4 League Cups.
4 League Cups, yeah.
Everything about him, Marcus. He was a gentleman, but when he was on TV, when he came across, you can see why people think he was arrogant. But he would never like that in real life with us. If one of the lads had turned around and say something about why they weren't playing or why we should be doing this. And he would listen to him, right? And you'll have heard it. He'd let everybody talk, or whoever it was, he'd let him talk, and then he'd turn around and say, like Martin once said one day, he said, "Boss, why am I in reserves?" He says, "Because we haven't got a 13 young man."
Yes.
You know, but he was kind-hearted, and he did everything for players. And he always looked after the wives and everything else like that, you know.
Yeah.
But he turned around and, after you'd said something, he turned around and said, "Because I'm the boss and that's what matters, and it's me what will win a European Cup, or he'll win an FA Cup or a league title, and you'll be thanking me years down the line, lads." And everything he said turned out right.
I've got to say that is a brilliant impersonation as well. You've got that off to a T now. That's really.
I'll tell you why I got it off to it. Just 1 second. I'll tell you why I got off to a T. We used to have a meeting in the boardroom on a Friday morning.
Yeah.
And I got away with murder, so the lads would wind me up to take him off. Right? And so we're in there after training 12:30, and I'm giving like a team talk doing Clough, and Martin and Rob would be saying to me so and so. And they knew they got one of the lads out there waiting, and they waited to see him come out of the office coming down.
Yeah.
And then he must have sneaked back in. "Go on, T. It's going to be another half an hour. Take him off to a team talk." And then he'd come in like, brilliant. I mean, he started laughing.
Yes.
You know, "Sit down, young man.
Yes.
There's not another manager like me." You know, brilliant. Absolutely. I just wanted to play. And, you know, frustrated. I wanted to play. The injury caused me a big problem.
Yes.
Not with the manager. Not with the manager, because I can tell everybody else this. 3 times when I left there, he tried to sign me, Marcus.
Afterwards.
Once at Wednesday, once at Sheffield United, and once at Everton. When we beat him 3-1 up at Goodison, I was on loan, and he said to me, pulled me, he said, "Why don't you come back and play for me, young man?" I said, "Because this is going to be a good team, boss." And the next time I saw him, he said, "You're right about football, young man. You do know something about football." You know, and he'd smile, you know. And Everton went on to win, obviously.
Yes, you won a First Division medal.
Yes, First Division medal. I should have won a Cup Winners' medal. I walked out of the semi-final through frustration again. Another bad injury at Everton. I was out again for 5 months. Missed out on an FA Cup final, a League Cup final. So the 2 major injuries caused me major problems. You know, that's luck for you, or being unlucky, one or the other. Know.
Yes. Now, you've written the book, Give Me the Ball, with the author John Brindley, and the details on how to buy that are in the show notes for this particular episode. But in the book, you highlight the footballing principles you learned playing for Cloughie, and really they're still relevant today.
Listen, football changes. Make no mistake. Everything changes. We change as people. Cars get different. Look at the pictures today. The principle is the same. The major people, what with major trophies, is ball on the floor, play with a tempo, look to go forward, not sideways, not backwards, not long. Yet you could use a long ball or a long pass when it gives you the advantage.
Yeah.
Not when you just put it into corners to try and win the second ball. The principles have never, ever changed. A Clough believed in getting the ball down, playing with the tempo, working out to get it back. And he used to say to us, the bad teams will give you the ball back because they won't have the composure on the ball. Everything what Guardiola and them's doing now, Clough did years ago. And Clough played with 3 at the back sometimes. You know, your Guardiolas and your Klopps do that today. The boss were doing that. I would imagine he did. I mean, I've seen clips of him when he were coaching at Derby County. You know, he believed in attacking formation. He knew that you needed to defend. That's why he bought top quality defenders. You know, he wanted defenders what could defend. John McGovern, listen, the amount of people what used to say to me when I was playing and when I left, I was John McGovern in that team. Cloughie used to give McGovern more rollickins than anybody at that football club. More rollickins. And if you ask John McGovern, he wouldn't want to go out with Brian Clough for a drink. I would. What people need to understand about football, what Clough said to John McGovern was this: young man, get the ball, give it to Robertson, give it to Woodcock, or give it to Curran, or give it to O'Neill, whoever was playing. That's all I want you to do. Break play up, because you can't play football, young man. You can't play football, right? No wonder why this lot are having a go with you. Give the ball as soon as you get it. Now, all the midfield players want to hit a 30-yard pass. John McGovern did the simple thing better than anybody else. Would I say he was a great player? No. But he was great at getting the ball and keeping the ball flowing, moving. That's what John McGovern was brilliant at. And that's what Brian Clough saw that other people didn't see.
And it was a vital role in 2 European Cup winning teams. The different managers you played for, it reads like a who's who of management. You got obviously Tommy Docherty, Laurie McMenemy, Jack Charlton, Howard Kendall, all those, as well as Cloughie. How did they compare, or how did Cloughie compare to those?
Every one of them managers said to me personally, "Where have you got this talent from?" They said that to me personally. McMenemy wrote, "Curran's got a rare talent. He's got a rare talent that other players haven't got." I tell you a story about McMenemy. Shankly just resigned at Liverpool.
Yeah.
We were playing Everton. I was playing for Southampton. And he fetched Bill Shankly to give a team talk into the dressing room, right?
Yeah.
And he says to Shanks, he said, "Bill, who's the greatest player you've seen?" And Shanks, Shanks, Tom Finney's the greatest player I've seen in my life. Tom Finney, the best player I've ever seen in my life. Right? Alan Ball and all them are there, all the Southampton, like this in the dressing room itself. We're playing Everton. At Goodison Park. And he turns around and he says to Bill Shankly, he said, "I've seen him do things in training would take your breath away, but Tom Finney couldn't do."
And he's referring to you.
And he said, he pointed and he said to me, Shanks, he said, "You must be some player, boy." And then after the game, he came up to me, he said, "He's right, you can play football." It was, so they've all said it to me.
Yeah.
There weren't, even players, Norman Hunters of this world, Tommy Smiths of this world, players I've played against, Kenny Sampsons of this world, Derek Statham's, have all said to me, "We hated playing against you. Hated it, because whatever you did, you would still keep coming running at us, Yeah. And when you've got paid, it's the most frightening thing out." And what I'm trying to say is, when you get all these managers saying these things to you, there's something there. But I got a love for Sheffield Wednesday. And do I regret doing it? No. But it was the most silly thing in football I did, coming out at First Division to go and play in the Third Division. Because you're never going to get that recognition in the Third Division. And I was really, my last two games, but Wolves and Everton, I tore them apart. Southampton, that's when he offered me a 3-year contract. And I've been tapped up to go to Sheffield Wednesday with Jack. He knew I was a Sheffield Wednesday fan and I wanted to play for Sheffield Wednesday. He didn't need me to. I didn't need him to tell me about Sheffield Wednesday, because I've gone on bus, I've gone on train to Wales. I've been in car with my mates and used to go to watch him play. So I know what the stadium were like. I know what the fans were like. What Jack said to me was, if we can get this, he didn't say him. He said, "If we can get this right, you'll be a legend in Sheffield." I wish I had never got injured to see how my career would have gone.
Yeah.
And I had the greatest manager in my generation who absolutely adored me.
In your original book, you talk about what you'd say if you see Cloughie in football heaven. So if he was up there now listening to this podcast, what would you say to him?
"You were right, as usual. You are the greatest that's ever been. And your football was proven. It's got the foundations to stand up to the Guardiolas of this world. Because if he'd have been a manager at a Man United or a Liverpool and that, all the players wanted to play for him. Alan Ball, Charlie George, Charlie went there, didn't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but they went at the wrong end of their careers. So you were the best. And I did love his company. You are the greatest what we've had. And you should have been the English manager and I would have won the World Cup for you, young man, I'd have said to him.
Oh, beautiful. Terry Curran, it's been wonderful listening to your memories and stories. Thanks for sharing them with us.
Thank you for inviting me on. Thank you for saying those things what my boss said about me.
It's all
it's
true.
Really bringing a tear to me. It's really bringing a tear to me. I now thinking about it.
Yeah,
because he was that good. He was that good of a manager. So I hope all the Forest fans enjoy it. I hope all the fans enjoy it. What do listen to it? What's not Forest fans?
Yes.
And thank you for inviting me on and letting me speak about the great man himself. And we didn't have a falling out. It was just me being a young kid and impatient. Brilliant.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Some great memories there from Terry Curran. And thanks to you for listening. You can send me your Cloughie memories and tributes. Just drop me an email at youngman@brianclough.com. I hope you can join me again next time when we'll share more memories of the great man in the green jumper.